In a normal situation, silver would have moved up dramatically today, but instead it has dropped well over 1%. And there's a reason for that. We're going to get into that reason and what could be coming down the road that could stop silver's momentum upwards in its tracks as we explore. Yeah, silver is down today, down over 1.2%. A lot of it is based off of profit taking. Reuters is reporting that gold and silver have retreated as investors liquidate positions in equities in a sell-off. And that occurs, but there's something behind that too, is what has just been discovered here that broke news earlier in the day about the Chinese AI startup DeepSeek. Yeah. Artificial intelligence platform, another large language model application that is taking the tech world by storm. The S&P 500 has suffered greatly. We're going to get into what this is about in more detail in a moment. But before we get there, let me show you what happened in the markets. All of the metals got hit hard today. Gold as well, down $27.80 moments before the markets closed to $2,743.80. That's a 1% drop. Silver is down 38 cents today, down 1.26% to $30.26 for this metal. Now, we're still above $30, so we're hanging in there, although it did dip below that for a brief amount of time. It got to a low of $29.67. Platinum fell $2, and palladium fell $25, and rhodium also got hit today. So the entire metals complex is in the red today. Now, again, they didn't plunge, but they did have a pretty big pullback. And it's pretty amazing to see. Could we see more pain? Well, likely, at least to some degree, because of this news, because this hit us out of left field. And until we can really get a good handle on what's going on here, we may see more pain. But wherever there's pain in the price, well, that provides a good opportunity for you for pickups. In silver, I made some moves actually recently. Got a couple little ounces from a local coin shop. I'm going to show you those in a moment. But if you are looking for good deals on precious metals, check out summitmetals.com. Only if the time is right for you to buy. But yeah, you have to weigh your situation personally. But summitmetals.com, elevate your wealth with precious metals, a good selection there of stackable silver and gold. So what's going on here with silver? Why could this be the thing that could stop its momentum in its tracks? And by the way, believe it or not, we are still in a bull run in silver. This is the kind of bull run we want, by the way. Not one that's going to be a radical move dramatically to the upside, only to be smacked back down again. Well, we're seeing that to some degree, but it is not moving in a radical nature. It is just a sustained movement to the upside, and then with some pullbacks like what we see today. But again, we're still sitting pretty good as silver still above $30 an ounce. We probably will see silver dip below $30 an ounce as they into the summer likely, and before it picks back up again. But that's just my thoughts on it, but who knows really for sure exactly what's going to play out here. But when we see things like what I'm going to be reporting on now here with this new AI that is concerning the market, this leaves us with a little bit of concern here. Let's talk first about the dollar index. The dollar index is down dramatically here. It is down almost 0.3%, down to 107.36 for the dollar index, below 108, well below 108 now. But yet silver has fallen. For that reason, silver should be a lot higher with that big of a dollar index drop. But that is another reaction, I think, to what's going on here in China, coming out of left field. We'll get into that here. The S&P is also suffering even more. It's down 1.46%. That is the one, as well as the NASDAQ is down. Actually, they're down over 3%. Everything is down except for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It's something else. Even Bitcoin has taken a pretty big hit here today. It's back above 100,000 again. but it took a little bit of a hit as well. So there it is. The dollar index is down and silver is down. And there could be more ahead. So gold prices and silver sank on Monday as global stocks fell, with U.S. technology stocks declining amid concerns over U.S. dominance being challenged by more affordable artificial intelligence. That's the key here, folks. They can do more with less in China. That's pretty amazing to think about it. This thing kind of hit us out of left field. Now, most knew what it was, but they didn't know exactly how advanced and how quickly they moved. Chinese AI startup DeepSeek is on Monday released a new model that outperformed OpenAI's latest release on several third-party tests. The cost of training and developing DeepSeek's models reportedly represents only a fraction of what is required for OpenAI and Meta platforms' best products. Shares of NVIDIA, which provides advanced chip systems and software for AI, fell as much as 8.3% during early U.S. trading on Monday, while ASML holding NV, a major producer of chip-making equipment, sank 9%. European stocks and U.S. futures contracts also declined. What does this have to do with silver? Well, and it is because a lot of these systems are going to be requiring a lot of silver, like the Stargate project that Donald Trump has announced with Larry Ellison and others. This is something, an OpenAI as well as a SoftBank. You know, they're going to be building all of these. They're already starting to construct some of it now. And if they can find a way to do it for less by using this Chinese model, well, they will do it. And which means it'll require less silver than what's anticipated. Already they're anticipating greater demand and even narrower supply for silver this year. I think that is part of what is lending to higher silver prices and lending to the sustained bold run that we've seen, with exceptions, notable exceptions, but exceptions nonetheless. So that is what's happening here. And gold is suffering as well too, but not as much. Spot gold dropped 1% and per ounce after climbing up the previous session to $5 per ounce below its all-time high that was on Halloween. That was $2,790 per ounce. I think that may be the average for the day. It may have been a little bit higher than that. This marked its best weekly performance since November, driven by concerns over President Donald Trump's new policies, particularly tariffs. And while the stream of volatility-induced Trump tariff headlines continues, another story from out of the blue has erupted across global markets as the crucial AI space has blindsided risk sentiment. It said derivatives platform Saxo Bank's commodity strategist Ole Hansen in his latest note. And NVIDIA's stock had skyrocketed over 170% last year alongside other technology stocks, driven by surging demand from big tech customers, including their AI data centers and cloud computing infrastructure. So yeah, that's a pretty wild to think about what's happening. You know, the 10-year Treasury yields, which is a benchmark rate for government as well as many other finance and commercial borrowing, edged lower to 1 month low of 4.5% on Monday. And the dollar index, which is a measure of the U.S. currency's value, has also dropped, as I've just discussed earlier. And we know that there was a trade war about ready to spark up between Colombia and the United States, which would have had a greater impact on coffee than electronics and silver. But it was narrowly averted on Sunday after the White House announced that the South American nation had capitulated and agreed to accept military aircraft carrying deported migrants. That was pretty smart of them to finally do that after grandstanding. Guatemala is next on the table. We'll see what happens there. So now the new tariffs against Canada and Mexico could still happen on the 1st of February. And that would be 10% duties on China and the EU as well. We'll see how that plays out. But there it is. Silver is an industrial metal, so it's more sensitive to these types of things that are occurring, especially with AI, and anything involving computing and processing power is going to involve silver. And by the way, understanding this, that means that even though the move higher or the bull run could be stopped in its tracks, It does not necessarily mean that silver is just going to just plunge down to $25, $26 an ounce. I don't think that's going to happen. I think a stop in the bull run means that we may see it climb back below 29, maybe even to 28 range, and sit there for a while, and then it just kind of just hovers in that area. I think the bull run, to be sustained, would have to continue to see movements upwards with higher floors along the way. But we could see a situation or a time of stagnancy in the markets throughout, up and through the summer, based off of this news. But it really just depends. Remember, markets react emotionally. Emotions are what is driving these moves. And I think that is something that we have to understand as well, which means that today's price movement to the downside very well may be an emotional overreaction. And we could see it normalize here in the coming days. But we'll see. It's anybody's guess. I mean, the profit taking along with this news and the digesting of the news, and what other tech companies here in the United States are going to do to try to counterbalance that is going to be another matter. It did hit us in a blind side. Nonetheless, I took advantage and got a little silver here. These are two more of the little cute germanium mint 1 ounce bars. I like them thick and then tiny like that. It makes it very, very nice to be able to hold. So very nice to add those to the stack. So there you have it. Now let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.